There's a purpose in the job. There's a purpose in every business. There's a purpose in every organization. And you have to connect to that purpose at Yale. That is fundamentally core. And I think you come away knowing that you have to make an impact in some way, and it's not just what's on your business card. I'm from Washington, D.C., born and raised, I think at least third generation on one side of my family. I took the train and the bus everywhere as a kid, so there was a lot of freedom and just this sense of a lot of life around me. Very hard to shake that as a fundamental piece of like who I am and how I want to live my life. Harvard was a nice compromise between the super urban and something that was sort of idyllic and had lots of lawn space. Went on through college to take some accounting classes and just kind of knew I needed to get a business job. Goldman had created in the early 2000s an outfit within the firm called the Urban Investment Group that did urban real estate investing and also investment in women and minority-owned companies. And so I got a chance to go join the real estate side and sort of get closer to this notion that I can do business and I can do urban and city things together. I never knew that was possible. But I was like, I don't want to build the box. I was very interested in what happens inside the box, that I wanted to do something different. SOM was very appealing to me. It had its roots in nonprofit management and just management in general. SOM really appreciates and ingrains in you that the people in your organization matter and your organization is its own living, being thing. It didn't send all of its graduates just to large consumer packaged goods or consulting or investment banking. It had a sizable number of people who pursued different paths. So coming out of business school, I went to work at a grocery store that really prioritized freshness and quality food and cutting out the middlemen and distributors. It was a space where folks felt like their mission was exclusively tackling big food, and I needed a break from that. I happened to be having coffee with my former boss from Goldman Sachs, who was talking to me about her work in the city. She was deputy mayor at the time, and she hired me into the mayor's office in 2015, and 9 years later, I'm still in public service. 300 acres, Brooklyn waterfront. That is the Manhattan skyline. We have over 3 miles of waterfront up until you see the wastewater treatment kind of cisterns. That's the edge. Technically, that was our property, then DEP decided to take it one day. It's all property that was built by the Navy dating back to 1700. Almost all the buildings here, we have over 60, that were built in the peak of wartime. Sort of sat fallow for 20 years. They officially handed the keys to the city. The city figured out a nonprofit structure to manage the Navy Yard on its behalf. Mayor Ed Koch created the Brooklyn Navy Yard Development Corporation, which is the organization I run today. This is the building we're in right now, building 77. Again, 300 acres. All U-shaped, all behind a wall. It's a nice spot. You can see the dry docks inside the model. They don't repair naval ships, but they repair just general maritime vessels. So even though the cranes look really rusty, they do really work. We've taken those 60 buildings, made it so that they're all physically safe and able to be occupied, and now they're home to over 550 businesses that employ over 11,000 people. The movie studio campus is on this side of the yard. You'll see all the stages. Oh, they're full again. No strike. The New York City ferry stops here. We've always had an on-site employment center. We train people in advanced manufacturing machinery that is common at most of our tenants. We have an on-site technical high school. You'll do much more long-term good if you help prepare students while they're getting their K-12 education. I want this place to reflect the diversity of New York City in its demographic makeup and in the breadth of ideas that we work on solving. The thing that I'm personally most focused on is companies working on climate change and also healthcare. If you're making a device that supports either of those industries, you're going to need industrial space. I want people to know that the Navy Yard is where they can come tinker, where they can pilot. Most of the businesses here at the Navy Yard have a particular purpose that has a mission or has a bit of doing good in it. That is a lot of what makes this place special for people. Economic opportunity has become my thing. If I connected back to what makes a city better or bigger. It's like economic opportunity. And I think that is a lot attributed to the exposure and the experience I got at SOM. In some respects, it was one of the best choices I made as an adult. I went seeking a specific thing. I got the specific thing. So I'm feeling pretty good about my experience at SOM.